Imagine a place where food is prepared next to mountains of garbage, where rats walk among steaming pots, where the smell of the streets is as intense as the daily effort of millions of people just to survive. Now imagine that this same country trains some of the best engineers, doctors, and scientists on the planet. Professionals who today work in cutting-edge hospitals, create technologies you use every day, and lead companies in Silicon Valley. How is this possible? How can a country be at the same time a symbol of extreme chaos and human genius? Today, you're going to see India as it's rarely shown. No filters, no sensationalism, and above all, no disrespect to its people. Stay until the end because the final reflection might completely change how you see this country, and perhaps even the world. India is now the world's most populous country with over 1.43 billion inhabitants. To understand the scale of the challenge, think of it this way. If the entire population of the United States, Brazil, Mexico, and a good part of Europe were placed inside a single country, it still wouldn't reach India's total. This population growth happened too fast. Too fast for infrastructure, basic sanitation, housing, and urban planning to keep up. And there's an important historical factor here. For decades, India was under British colonial rule. This period left deep scars: economic exploitation, absence of investments in basic infrastructure, social and regional divisions. When the country gained its independence, it inherited not just freedom, but also gigantic structural problems, which become even more difficult to solve with a population of this size. India represents 17.78% of the entire world population. That's 492 people per square kilometer. And 63% still live in rural areas, many without the basic infrastructure we consider essential. When the system doesn't reach everyone, people improvise. And improvising in this context means surviving. In many Indian cities, trash isn't the exception, it's part of the landscape. Everything mixes into daily urban life. Garbage collection is irregular in several regions. Sewage systems simply don't exist in some neighborhoods. And major cities suffer from some of the worst air pollution rates in the world. For those watching from outside, this might seem like negligence, but for those living there, often it's simply what's left as an option. Mountains of accumulated garbage coexist with vibrant markets. Open sewers sit just meters away from busy restaurants. And this neglect of cleanliness and infrastructure isn't just an aesthetic issue, it has real consequences for public health. Diseases transmitted by contaminated water, respiratory infections from air pollution, gastrointestinal problems. But here's what's important to understand. This isn't about denigrating a country or its people. It's about recognizing a reality that needs to be changed. Indians deserve better. They deserve basic sanitation, adequate garbage collection, potable water, and dignified living conditions. Indian food is one of the richest, oldest, and most respected cuisines on the planet. But street food, especially in poor areas, shows another face of this reality. It's common to find food prepared next to accumulated trash, with oil reused dozens of times, without proper refrigeration, exposed to dust, flies, and animals. These videos go viral on the internet because they shock. Among traditional recipes, there are also extremely curious and controversial combinations. Let me tell you about some traditional dishes first. Biryani, basmati rice, chicken or lamb, fried onions, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and saffron. Masala dosa, fermented rice and lentil batter filled with potatoes seasoned with turmeric, mustard, and curry. Chole bhature, chickpeas cooked with tomato and spices served with fried bread. These are masterpieces that have been perfected over centuries. But then there are the improvisations. In Surat, Gujarat, there's a stall selling what went viral as Fanta omelet. Called Fanta fry, the dish is made with fried and boiled eggs mixed with Fanta soda, spices, and mashed potatoes topped with cheese, costing about $3 per plate. The vendor claims he created the recipe by public demand. He also sells thumbs up egg, Coke egg, and Sprite egg. Other viral combinations include Maggi milkshake, instant noodles blended into a milkshake, chocolate biryani, rasgulla chaat, sweet Indian dessert with savory and spicy sauces. For those watching from outside, it seems absurd, but this isn't born from madness. It's born from adapting to what's cheap, accessible, and available. Important to reinforce, this doesn't represent all of India. It represents a visible and marginalized part of urban reality. While you're watching these images, somewhere in India, a young person is studying 10 to 12 hours a day. He's not studying for luxury, not for fame. He's studying because he dreams of entering a university where less than 1% of applicants are accepted. This detail explains everything that comes next. If this video is making you reflect, if you enjoy content that shows the world as it really is, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave your like. Now, take a deep breath, because we're entering the most surprising part of this video. India houses some of the hardest universities in the world to get into. The Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur. The acceptance rate for some programs is less than 1%. Think about that for a moment. Harvard's acceptance rate is around 3 to 4%. Stanford's is similar. But getting into an IIT, less than 1%. Annually, about 1.2 million students take the JEE exam for engineering. Of these, only about 16 to 17,000 get a spot at the IITs. The level of competition is so high that many students who don't get a spot in India end up being excellent professionals anywhere in the world. In medicine, AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, one of the most respected medical institutions in Asia. India has over 654 medical colleges, but even so, the competition is brutal. Millions compete for limited spots. In management and business, IIMs, Indian Institutes of Management, they train business leaders who operate globally. Entire cities like Kota and Rajasthan have become centers specialized in preparing students for these exams. Students spend years in intensive preparatory courses just to have a chance. Now we arrive at the point that connects India directly to the United States. It's estimated that about 30 to 35% of technology professionals in Silicon Valley are of Indian origin. They work as software engineers, systems architects, data scientists, artificial intelligence specialists, technical leaders, and executives. About 25% of Silicon Valley startups have at least one Indian founder. This is not a coincidence. Many global CEOs and leaders went through Indian universities. Sundar Pichai, Google, Alphabet; Arvind Krishna, IBM; Vinod Khosla, Sun Microsystems / Khosla Ventures. The Indian technology industry is estimated to reach $283 billion in 2025, with exports exceeding $200 billion. The IT sector currently employs 5.80 million people, with 2.2% annual growth, and 75% of Indian companies are expected to integrate AI into their operations by 2025, placing the country at the forefront of the global technological revolution. Medicine, saving lives around the world. In the United States, it's estimated that there are approximately 90,000 doctors of Indian origin. That means about 1 in 5 doctors in the U.S. has roots in India. They work in hospitals, universities, research centers, specialized clinics. India is the largest supplier of doctors to OECD countries, many of which are developed European nations. Meanwhile, India has also become a reference in complex surgeries, pharmaceutical production, high-quality, low-cost medical tourism. The year 2025 marked unprecedented advances in India's medtech industry. The country transitioned from an import-dependent market to one that innovates, manufactures, and exports at scale. Indian hospitals perform complex procedures, from organ transplants to robotic surgeries, for a fraction of the cost charged in developed countries, maintaining the same quality standards. India exports what it has most valuable: human capital. Millions of highly qualified professionals work outside the country today. India is the origin of the world's largest international migrant population, with approximately 18 million Indians living abroad. Among the top 1,000 JEE scorers, 36% migrate abroad. Among the top 100, the rate rises to 62%, mainly to the United States. Why? Salaries, opportunities, infrastructure. A doctor or engineer can earn 5 to 10 times more working in the US, Canada, or Europe than in India, and who can blame them? The spending by Indian students on higher education in the United States is about 6 times greater than the entire central government investment in all IITs. The result? India invests heavily in training these professionals only to watch them leave. It's what's called brain drain, and it has an enormous cost for the country. Meanwhile, millions still live without access to sanitation, basic infrastructure, dignified living conditions. This is the paradox. 2 worlds in one country. India is not just poverty. India is not just technology. It is both at the same time. It's a country where people eat in 5-star restaurants next to slums without basic sanitation, where the world's best surgeons operate in cutting-edge hospitals just miles from rural clinics without basic equipment, where brilliant engineers design space rockets and AI systems, but millions still don't have access to internet or reliable electricity. Perhaps India's biggest problem isn't lack of talent, but lack of conditions for that talent to flourish for everyone. With 1.43 billion people, almost 18% of humanity, this is a country that carries the weight of its own size. The question isn't just what's wrong with India. The question is, what can a country do when it inherits colonial exploitation, grows faster than its infrastructure can handle, and still manages to produce world-class genius? Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think could change this reality? Basic education? Infrastructure? Public management? Economic policy? For those of you who are Indian or have a connection to India, do you see these changes happening? Is the country moving in the right direction? And for everyone else, does this change your perspective on India, on development, on what it means to be a successful country? Leave your opinion in the comments. This debate matters. Remember, the goal here wasn't to denigrate or exalt, but rather to show reality as it is, complex, contradictory, and deeply human. Every country has its lights and shadows, but few countries carry contradictions as visible as India's. If you enjoyed this video, leave your like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. We have much more content like this coming. Until the next video, and remember, understanding the world as it really is, with all its beauty and brutality, is the first step toward changing it.